Good morning, everybody. So my name is Kim Delaney, and I'm the Chief Visionary Officer for Hazi Enterprises. So our goal is to increase affordability, equity, and equality in the housing sector. We are intentionally designing community spaces to thoughtfully connect people with places and healthy buildings in the communities that we serve. So in regards to just the human population, we're always evolving, we're always doing better, we're always learning, right? So as we learn about, smoking is not good for our health, we can't smoke while we have babies. We're also learning things with just our homes and materials in general. So sustainability is a really big factor for us. So really looking at how we live our lives, what our building materials look like, how they affect our health. All those components is really our key focus. And so the problem here, when we specifically look at Cabarrus County, we have nearly 24,000 households that have issues including safe, affordable buildings. And then nationally, just when we look at toxic materials, as Americans, we are exposed to 200 chemicals within our home buildings. And these obviously factor into cancer, diabetes, different health outcomes. So just being really intentional about how we create our homes. So, and then when we look at like kind of where we are as a society, anxiety and depression has been really prevalent, especially due to the pandemic. And so being very inclusive and intentional with how we create homes, all of that factors into the health aspect as well. And so when we look at our target market and then our lifestyles, so the four most attractive factors that the tiny home lifestyle has to offer is affordability. So as you know, Paris, Charlotte are really hot markets. They're probably not going to cool off for a very long time. And affordability has kind of shifted. So it's no longer about the lower income family or the poverty-stricken family. Now it's middle income families who are struggling to just to survive. And Paris is one of the most expensive communities to live in, and it shows. And so we're really kind of looking at that and saying, how can we change that focus with tiny homes and minimizing the footprint? And then accessibility is, are we close to a community that we want to the grocery store? Because transportation is such an issue within our communities. We don't have the train like Charlotte does. So how can we place these communities very intentionally where people can still get to certain commodities? And then the eco-friendly, which I've already talked about, just being very conscious about sustainability, how we live, our materials that we use, the things that we cook in, things like that. And just a minimalist aspect. We don't really need these big footprints. And I think tiny homes have came a long way where people have thought about them as being like, sheds. And that's not really what they look like. They're 2 stories, but they can still be 500 square feet. And they're just built in such a, I guess, intentional way that space is very maximized. And so when we look at kind of what that looks like as a community, so when you're building multiple dwellings, they're kind of looked at as these cottage court communities, which is 4 to 12 dwellings, could be on a half a parcel, so it's very minimal in that, to an acre. And you're looking at about 600 square feet, which sounds tiny, but the way these builders are really being creative in their building aspect, it could be a 2-level like this and accommodate a house of 5. So really looking at agriculture, so creating maybe a community garden on site, really big in camp and the sustainability that brings. So bringing in our local farmers to kind of increase that crop. And invest in populations within this community. These people are very instrumental in how they live, eco-friendly, green. It's a very big focus. And then how to be sustainable and just creating that sense of community. So when we look at our competition, there are a couple of places around here, not here in Concord, but like Denver, of course, Asheville, because they're like little California. But really looking at those benchmarks, and even if you think about up near the Speedway, there is an RV resort up there, or mobile home park. that are short term. But the thing is, people of color don't feel very welcome in those spaces. And sometimes they can be very restrictive for us. So as you look at the tiny home communities, they're a lot more inclusive. It's about the same mentality. So with RV resorts, the regulations omit tiny homes, especially the ones on wheels. And so that's hard to do. The mobile home parks, again, the demographics, the resort communities, while they're beautiful, some of them are on lakes and mountains, it may be hard to get your tiny home on there. And then again, the secluded part, is it walkable? Is there transportation? I'm trying to really hurry. Competitive advantage, again, home ownership, the affordable middle housing, transitional occupants. So I was adopted. So for me, looking at foster care, maybe even institutionalized individuals, short-term rentals from the aspect of, we have atrium here, we have nurses that come in and out, workforce housing, the engagement, having the community gardens, those community accesses, so people can kind of get away from that anxiety and depression and feel like they're in a community. Then this is probably not right. So we are working on this right now. This is the ask. I tried to get up one more slide. It's just like, thank you. But this is this is what we're going for. We are the mentor team. We're reporting this right now. I've actually found a builder, in Florida that is capable of building for 50,000. So I tweaked that number a little bit today. Okay. This is what I've got so far, and I'm done.